here we go.
Good evening, Peter.
Whoa!
You have 576 possible web shooter combinations.
That is awesome.
Hey guys, what's up? So I got to see Spider-Man Homecoming last night, and I thought I would share with you real quick what I thought of the film in a spoiler-free review. I'm just going to share vague impressions. You're not going to get any spoilers, any specifics here, so this is a safe review. So for starters, what I appreciated about this film was it really felt like a coming-of-age movie. And often when people say, you know, coming-of-age movie, they're talking about movies where teenagers or young adults are running off. They're running away from the adults in their life who are trying to put boundaries around them. They're drinking, they're pursuing insane amounts of sex, drugs, making all kinds of choices that really can lead to very painful, very heartbreaking outcomes. So I never understood why that term was created, coming of age, because being mature is about taking responsibility. It's about having perspective for your life, where you're at right now and where you want to go, and for taking things in stride, and also for knowing what your limits are, while also trying to increase those limits and get better, and also recognizing consequences. So this was the first coming of age movie that I can think of that actually encourages anybody of any age to approach their life with maturity. This one actually shows what real maturity is. And it does it through such a sweet, precious character. Tom Holland did a magnificent job showing Peter Parker. He is so quirky and adorable and relatable. You know, he's a small guy in high school. He's just trying to get through life. There's stuff, you know, in the past with his family that he's got to deal with. He's the superhero that we can all relate to, because we're not all Asgardian princes. We're not all genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropists. We're not super soldiers. We've all been that teenager trying to figure out life. And I loved that he was not macho and like cool and suave. And honestly, most of the people around him, like in his high school, they weren't really that way either. They created sweet characters and did not degrade them for the fact that they were sweet. And I think a lot of modern media does a really bad job of giving due credit to the people who are kind and compassionate. I loved Peter's heart. He just had the sweetest heart to grow and do the right thing. But that did not stand in the way of the fact that he did have to grow. A mistake that's often made is the concept that people who are, you know, the bad boys or the villains, they have a more interesting arc because they struggle more. Well, I've always hated that, because I understand more of, you know, the hero type characters. It's not that they don't struggle more, it's that they just make the right decision more. But the struggle and the growing pains are still there. And so they brought a very sweet, heroic character. He's not trying to, you know, he's not going through some kind of rebellion thing. He's not trying to throw off all responsibility or wisdom. He really is trying to grow to be this amazing person. I mean, you love him. But even in that, he's young, he's inexperienced, he's going to make some mistakes, he's going to take on too much, you know, and I think this is something that every person can relate to. So I thought that was really neat. They did a really good job with all the characters. They brought in some neat things from Iron Man, the Iron Man movies, neat little Avengers tie-ins. They did a really good job incorporating the concept of like the post-Avengers world being a normal part of the culture now. Like in the high school, you know, there's a class where they're learning about the Sokovia Accords, you know, the same way we might have grown up learning about, you know, the Iraqi war. So I thought that was really neat. And yeah, this was a movie that showed appreciation for someone trying to do the right thing, but it also showed the difficulty and the journey that it takes to keep getting up and doing the right thing, and also knowing how to do that. And so I really appreciated this. I am Peter Parker in so many ways. Pretty much my whole life I have felt like he does. So I really, really enjoyed that. I think they did an amazing job. They told such a nice story. This is a story that I would show to a young person who's trying to figure things out. I would say, look, this is a good example of someone who they don't know what they're doing all the time. They're trying to figure it out, but they really have good things in their heart that they're working towards. This is what I think coming of age stories should be about. It's about trying to grow in maturity and wisdom and make a difference in the world around you instead of being completely self-absorbed and making all kinds of bad decisions regardless of consequences. So yeah, it was a great movie. It was a fun movie, very funny, really neat. He's just a precious, precious character, and everybody did a great job. There was a moment in this movie when he was in a really bad spot, and I'm not even a mom yet, but when he was there, my mom instincts were screaming. I wanted somebody to help him so bad, but Tom Holland just did a fantastic job acting this, and it was beautiful. Fantastic movie. So highly recommend it. A good ride. It's really fun. It may be harder to understand a lot of what's going on if you haven't seen the Avengers films and stuff, so this is not necessarily one that you could really start somebody on right away. I would say they'd have to see a few other films. They did a really good job with the fact that they skipped the part of the origin story where we have to see Peter get bit by the spider and all that. They didn't waste time with that. Everybody knows that story by now. Instead, they focused on what does it look like when a new hero is just getting started, you know, and they did an awesome job. So great film, highly recommend it. You did a fantastic job. Marvel, Tom Holland, of course, Robert Downey Jr., Marissa Tomei. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and you guys could tell me what you think of Spider-Man. So I'll see you at the movies.
Could you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?